I'm ready.
All right, before we start getting yelled at by other people, it's 7:02. Oh my God, we'll be in big trouble.
All right, yelling.
Good evening, everyone. It's another edition of Inside Texas with Mitch and Jeff. Mitch Staines over there, our Matagorda Public Information Officer, guru, runs the state of Texas. He's going to be the next governor-elect, I think. He should be.
Governor-elect. There you go.
Governor-elect, looking better every day. I knew he was losing weight for something. I knew it was. It was to look damn good for the state. That's what it was. That's it. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff going on. First, I want to hit on this real quick and get this out of the way. By the way, once again, we are broadcasting the Tidehaven Tiger games. You were interested in becoming a sponsor, just give me a call at 979-476-4469 or email me at jeffmichaels65@gmail.com. We have a lot of sponsors, a lot of new sponsors, a lot of sponsor upgrades. So we're really, really proud about that. Next week, we'll announce them on the show. And then also let people know that the heat wave will be over soon. Starting in December, it's supposed to get cooler. Just to let everybody know.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's killer, man. It's killer. I know it is for y'all.
We're looking at another week of heat, right around 100 degrees. And then it's going to start dropping off to about 95, 96, and then in the lower 90s. So, and at nighttime, a little bit cooler. August 31st, we're looking now. This is way out. So we're talking, 20 days, 22 days.
At least. What's today, the 18th?
19th today. 19th. So, we're looking at some storms popping up in the Atlantic again. So we'll take it. And we were right last time when we told you it was what date it was going to be. So just give people a heads up. It's going to start scurrying a little bit down there because the Saharan dust is going to lift. So it's going to give the chance of those storms to pop up. So anyway, and once we get a little closer.
And it's hurricane season, right, Jeff? I mean, it is what it is. We've been lulled into a sense of security, I guess, missing so many years in a row, but we had a little wake up call with a Cat 1/2/ strong hurricane. So hopefully that woke everybody up. I know there's a lot of folks, especially in Sargent, that the next time that you tell them that it's a good idea for them to leave, I bet you they take it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially the ones that the water came up so fast they couldn't leave because of the high water.
Because of the high water, that's right.
And they didn't realize it was just a Cat 1. You said it, Jeff. They're all different. They've all got a little bit of something different.
Yeah.
But when you get a 9-foot storm surge and you live 36 inches above sea level, guess what?
Yeah.
It's kind of easy.
Just to give you an idea, Bermuda had a 20-foot storm surge and their sea level. So,
wow.
So most of the long parts of that coast over there got hit really bad. And that thing, it was moving so slow, they dealt with it for 3 days.
Wasn't there some flooding up in the Northeast around your hometown?
From Florida, started in Florida. 2 people have passed away in Florida, North Carolina, up around Delaware. Around the Indian River Inlet area, which is Dewey Beach and things like that. The berms washed away where the major Route 1 highway goes. So the water, the ocean was going over that yesterday. And then the Jersey Shore, North Carolina house was washed away. Up along the New Jersey shore and New York, there's no swimming. The tides are crazy. Two people lost their lives just the other day in Florida from Pennsylvania. 2 parents got swept out in the current. So when a storm is out there, it churns up that water so much, and the water only has one place to go, and that's land.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be bad right now. I didn't talk to my buddy up there in Maine, but I did get some pictures, and they're getting 20 to 25 foot swells up there. Hitting the beach right there where the lighthouse is out on Cape Elizabeth.
Now, if I heard this is going to continue across the ocean and cause some rain over in Ireland as well.
Yeah, it's going to cause some commotion, actually up into Greenland and Iceland, and then come around. Come around, yeah. So it was going more north than what they thought. But anyway, these storms have their own signature, man. Every one of them has their own signature, and it's, every one of them are bad.
And it doesn't even have to be a hurricane. We've had tropical storms.
Yeah.
That have caused major problems.
Yeah. The one there in Louisiana, that time I was living in Louisiana back in, was it 2000, right after Katrina. And then it was right before Katrina. We had that tropical storm that stayed over us. Allison, I think it was.
Okay.
Tropical storm Allison. And Allison stayed over us for 7 days and just nonstop rain. I was pulling, I'll never forget this. I actually had to go underwater to hook up a chain to a car that was in a low area of a road. And the lady and the baby were inside the car. And we pulled them out first, but the water was moving so fast. And I got yelled at from the police department, but did tell them that I'd done this crap before. So I had to hold onto the tire, go under the car, which was underwater, get a chain onto my Jeep, and we pulled them out then. But yeah, it gets crazy. I mean, it just, you never know. Every storm has its own signature. But
and Jeff, I've got to say it. I'm sorry, but a voluntary evacuation means just that. You can go ahead and evacuate. It doesn't. I remember there was a post on social media that said, why didn't you order us to leave?
Yeah, come on, man.
Leave on your own. If you don't feel comfortable, and I'm not even going to say during the hurricane, I'm going to say it again, Jeff. If you're going to be uncomfortable without having power, water, and food for 5 days, go ahead and evacuate before the hurricane hits.
Yep.
And I'm not saying have a big expense and go get a motel room. Go find some friends that live inland somewhere and tell them, hey, I'm going to crash here for a couple of days. And then you come down when it's pretty and take them fishing or something here in Matagorda County and reciprocate.
Right. You know why you weren't told to move? Because you don't live in Russia. Okay. We don't have a Russian government where they tell you to do something, you got to do it. So most of the time the government will tell you, hey, you have to evacuate this area. Most people don't. So
I mean, it was a good idea, especially low-lying areas. And everybody knows where the normal floods go.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows when we get a lot of rain and a high tide and a big wind, especially along the coast.
Right.
And you get a high tide and that wind blowing the waves up, you're going to flood or you're going to have water over the roads. And so
any southerly breeze, 35 to 45 miles an hour, will start surging.
It'll move it, won't it?
Will start. Yeah, it sure will. So, all right, let's start hitting some of these topics here. I want to get on one or two of them. Let's talk about the insurance deal. Where they're actually talking about lowering your insurance because of the windstorm insurance. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So I will tell you that, and I'm going to kind of give it to you in a big capsule. So the windstorm board, the staff recommended the board for us to increase our insurance rates by 10% a couple of weeks ago. All the legislators along the Gulf Coast all signed a letter saying do not. The board voted 6-3 to increase business insurance 10% and residential insurance 10%. And I've had a fit. I mean, it's a tragedy. I've called it everything. It's a tragedy. We're having problems. And I think enough pressure. So the discussions in the House or in the legislature so far, and it's only been a week, is what can we do to help individuals along? It's 14 counties that support windstorm. And with the cost of reinsurance, with the cost of replacing, this is getting out of hand. We've already got our insurance going up, homeowners. replacement value insurance. We've got inflation costing us more gas, more for food. Everything is costing more. And then you start doubling up on TWIA, Texas Windstorm Insurance Agency, with a 10%. So it looks like we finally have. Now, here's where I want to take it, and give me that governor-elect title and I'll help. Here's where I want to really focus on it. I want to focus on, one, telling the insurance commissioner to tell TWIA no. Just no. No is not going to approve a 10% insurance both for homeowners and for businesses. But then I think during the session in January, we really need to have a push on revamping windstorm. And here's my idea. I can't fix it by myself. I need y'all. I need you. You remember how we were having problems communicating how well we want economic development to our county commissioners? Well, I need you back in January when our legislature goes back into session. I'm going to do some call to actions where we communicate our displeasure with the way windstorm is being run today. Now, I have two different things I want. I want to redo the board of directors. Right now, in my opinion, it's heavily influenced by the industry folks. I want to redo the board of directors. I want more coastal windstorm customers on there. I want to do an honest assessment. But the most important thing, if you don't remember anything else, remember this. We need more than 14 counties supporting insurance for windstorm. And here's how we do it. Just like they do it in Mississippi. They have the wind modeling. And I said this last week. There was a lot of damage in Montgomery County, Harris County, Montgomery County, even into Lufkin and Nacogdoches County, where I think we could increase the number of counties that contribute to TWIA, not at the same. We live along the Gulf Coast. We're going to pay more. But I think if we included the second row of counties, the third row of counties, the fourth row of counties, the fifth row of counties, in with the funding, that would spread the cost of insurance to more people. Now, inland, you may not pay but 10% of what we pay. We're going to pay 100%. We're going to pay the large majority of this. The Wharton County, for instance, Jackson County, they're going to pay maybe, I'll pick a number, maybe 70%. The third tier, you get up into Colorado County, maybe they pay 30%. You get up into Nacogdoches, maybe it's just 10%. But I think there needs to be a shared love, so to speak, a shared cost analysis to try to help us. So just to recap real quick, legislators, I think they're getting the word. They did sign a second letter. They signed a letter telling the board not to approve it. The board did 6-3. We have 3 very smart board members. 6, well, I'm just not going to say that. Now we've got a list of legislators that's asking the commissioner of insurance not to let them do it. Then we need to go into session, and then we need to change the funding mechanism and change the board of directors. Jeff, I think that makes it fair. I think it's smart, but it's difficult in today's world for us to live along the Gulf Coast with all of these increases.
I got a quick question. Now, along the Gulf Coast, how many different insurances does someone have to pay for their home? You have windstorm,
homeowners, windstorm,
right?
Flood. 3. Am I missing one? I think that's it.
Okay.
So 3 policies.
Okay. That's just for along the coast.
Just along the coast.
Okay. Why couldn't they combine the 3 into one insurance and
good question.
Do exactly what you're saying to do, but combine it that all 3 required, but put it in one insurance. I know people get, I got this bill, 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 and they get tired of that. Why can't the insurance companies themselves include the windstorm and everything in one policy, but extend that policy to where these storms go? I mean, now you're talking about this borough coming up here. Okay, they had damage in Wharton County, and it's just like you said, extend it. But have all these three required, and it's almost like the healthcare thing. You may never need it, but again, you're paying into helping somebody else. It's like car insurance. Your car insurance goes up to insure uninsured motorists. It's there. It's in your policy. They may never use it. You may never need it, but it's there. So why couldn't they do the same thing with the insurances?
Well, one of the reasons is those, and I think it's short-sighted. I'm going to give you the answer, but then I'm going to give you my answer to it.
Okay.
The answer is some of the most northern counties, they don't think they need to pay windstorm insurance because they don't live along the coast. They're saying that you choose to live along the coast, you pay more. But your homeowners and my homeowners, Jeff, we share the load with hail and tornado damage. So when a tornado or a hail damages a house, part of our homeowners helps pay for that. It ought to be reciprocal. It ought to be reciprocal because we don't get a lot of hail damage. We don't get a lot. We get wind damage. We don't get a lot of freeze problems, and we don't get a lot of tornadoes. We get some, especially during the tropical storm. But what we need to do, and so some of the legislators won't support it. I brought that up. I did some homework where I showed that hail and tornado damages equaled every year equaled what a hurricane did every 5, 6, 7 years. Well, they didn't want to hear that. They disregarded that part of my argument. So it's getting it passed in the legislature where you have somebody, let's say Abilene, Texas, right? I mean, people in Abilene don't want to help us along the Gulf Coast pay for windstorms. So, but by God, we're helping them with hail and tornadic activities.
Does windstorm cover tornadoes?
Homeowners covers tornadoes in the inland counties.
Okay.
My homeowners would probably cover the tornadic activity here because it would be wind. But there's all that negotiations goes on between homeowners. What's homeowners going to pay versus what TWIA is going to pay versus what flood. Right. So if it rains in your window, is that a flood event? They're going to say it was a wind event.
But compared to hurricanes, just to give you, I'm just thinking out of the box here.
Yeah.
Compared to hurricanes, there's a hell of a lot more tornadoes in the state of Texas with more damage.
Amen.
I agree that a hurricane can cause, flood damage, wind damage, all that stuff. In a long path. It's almost like a very wide tornado that travels a longer distance.
Yeah.
But with I just don't know if they would consider, we all talk about the change, the weather change,
climate change,
global warming, climate change, stuff like that.
Climate change.
I don't see why they wouldn't take that into consideration, being that, everybody's saying, hey, there's an issue. And now we got more hurricanes. We got more tornadoes. Yeah. We've had the worst hail come through here in Texas history this year.
Yeah, Needville. Yeah, it ripped them. And you drove through what? Belleville,
Needville, Angleton, a little bit over at Lake Jackson, and then you go north of there. Towns that really never got hit by tornadoes. Last year, we were talking about Madisonville, where my buddies,
right? I remember
that. So yeah, there's more of them. I don't know. I just think if everybody's going to eat the policy, I mean, you're already paying a lot of money to live along the coast to begin with.
I know.
And if we're paying insurance for everybody else, I don't, why can't we help to bring that down along the coast by spreading it a little bit more where the damage can occur?
Oh, and this isn't the first time we brought it up, Jeff. I remember arguing this 10 years ago and 12 years ago and 15 years ago. We're just got to continue to go at it until we can get some progress.
Maybe they'll talk about it at the DNC tonight, huh?
Maybe so.
Hillary's going to be there tonight. So.
Oh, is she speaking?
Yeah, Hillary's speaking, Biden's speaking, and who else? Oh, Biden's wife.
What about Pelosi? She's got to speak, right?
Pelosi's going to be speaking on Wednesday night, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a little disconnected, Jeff. I will tell you, I went a little bit of short weekend with my grandkids, and so at the RV park, all I could get was one station. It was oldie movies, and so I'm and of course there wasn't time to really check like I wanted. So I'm playing catch up with all the Democratic Party.
Oh yeah, Obama's going to speak this week.
Okay.
Bill Clinton's going to speak this week.
I heard something about all the security that they've instituted.
Yeah, tons of it, and they have a big rally going on outside right now for Israel and stuff like that. So they got some problems in Chicago, but yeah, the security is unbelievable.
That's what I heard.
Unbelievable. So
one guy said he stepped out to do a run, and he thought, and he wasn't even near the center, and he ran in and got his driver's license because he was scared he'd need to show papers.
Who he was. Yeah,
and he was just running.
Yeah, they said, and I didn't see the pictures yet, and I was trying to look for them before we went on the air. About they got 4 or 5 tanks sitting around there too.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
somebody said it. Somebody said, "Hey, I was texting on the phone. Is it true they got tanks sitting around up in Chicago?" I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, "Yeah, for the convention." I said, "I don't think so," but I went and looked, and then I saw somebody else brought it up too. So maybe they do. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you got to keep those tanks out there.
You got to keep the tanks. You got to shoot tank shells at people.
We're starting to look like Venezuelan election.
Exactly. Beirut, Beirut, and Hamas and Gaza, man.
Hey, before we get too far, because I know just in case we go late tonight or whatever, let's talk about real quick, and then we'll go to the next subject. Kids are back at school.
Yes.
Time to slow down. Let's talk. Let everybody know about that too as well.
Yeah, Jeff, I was thinking I don't have kids at the house. I've got grandkids, and there's just Carolyn and I here. And, I just want to say to people that let's be careful. I need to remind myself we've got kids running around everywhere after school, before school. We need to keep them safe. We need to be careful. We need to be mindful. Nothing is important that you can, nothing is that important that you can't take your time and be slow and be deliberate. And let's take care of kids and those individuals walking to school and walking home and after school. Right. Kids are out and about more. I think there's a pep rally. Is it coming up pretty quick? Was it tonight?
I'm not sure.
At the school, but see, I'm not either. I'm disconnected. But I thought it was important that we do need to talk about the fact, be mindful, slow down. We probably got into some bad habits during the summer. And we just need to slow down. We need to watch for kids. We just need to be really, really careful. Support the kids in their education. We had the new teacher breakfast, over 60 new teachers. And so if you've got a new teacher that's one of your neighbors now, reach out, be nice, be neighborly. Let's check in on them. Let's make sure that they've got what they need. We told them that at the new teacher breakfast. If you need something, let us know. Right. I told them you're taking care of the most important thing to us, and that's our kids and our grandkids. Right. Jeff, I think yours is a senior this year, right?
She is. She's a senior.
So a lot going on. There's a lot of school activities. Yep. Let's pay attention to them. Older folks like myself, let's support them. Let's do what we can. But the most important part is they're going to be walking around. They're going to be walking in our neighborhoods. Some may even be running. I know our track folks run through the neighborhoods here. And I just want to do a special shout out to slow down. Let's pay attention to these kids.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we keep them safe.
And the buses.
Oh, and the bus. That's right. That's right. I didn't even think of that, Jeff. Great catch.
Yeah.
You know, when that flashing red lights start, just stop. Be still. Take a minute. Take a breath. Yep. Because kids are going to be crossing streets and getting onto the bus, and they're excited. They're not paying attention to you.
That's right.
We're the adults. We're the elders. We've got to really take care of them. So let's be mindful. Put it back back in the front of your mind. School buses, a lot of activities, a lot of people walking around.
Right.
And let's be careful and let's take care of our own.
Not this Friday, but the following Friday is the beginning of football as well.
Okay.
For the high schools. We'll be carrying the Tidehaven Tigers game live
good.
on GCOR.com. And we have a coaches show that we're going to be doing on Wednesday nights. And we got all kinds of people that are involved with that, including Smokin' A's barbecue. We got the 616 is going to be supplying food, Smokin' A's barbecue, Domino's in Bay City, and a couple others. So we got and we're working on Chick-fil-A right now. They're going to help us out probably as well. So we got a lot of others, and we got a lot of great sponsors this year. If you want to be a sponsor, just get.
Now tell me again, how long do those commercials? How long are they going to run?
They're going to run all the way till January, right through to January. And also, I already posted once again this year. We're going to do a huge giveaway on GCOR for Christmas. So we're going to collect the toys. We're going to collect toys, but also, and we're looking at possibly right now. We're looking at possibly a cruise for 2 to give away.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna be the only ones around here doing that. I know those other sloppy stations won't be doing it, but I know I will.
Have you talked to Skarnamai? Or is he going to do his?
I don't like him. He's ugly.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That was Trump talking about Kamala Harris today. I'm sorry.
I haven't talked to James. I didn't know if.
Oh, every once in a while I do. I know during the summer when he was off, he's busy, running around. And
sure.
stuff.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'll need to get with him and see if he's. I'm assuming he's doing the Marine for Toys.
Toys for Tots. Yeah, and I'll get with him again. In fact, I have my little. Well, I don't want to show it, but I have my little thing hanging up here for LNJ Small Engine Toys for Tots.
Okay, good.
You get a little thing for it. It's up there hanging up.
All right.
But anyway, we're going to do the Toys for Tots deal. We're going to have the little fire outside and roasting the hot dogs just like we did last time.
Yeah.
And we'll have all kinds of different people joining us as well. We're going to be doing something big this year for the radio, and we're looking forward to everybody jumping on and being a part of what we try to do and accomplish, so I can retire at fixing lawnmowers. Oh my God. If I ever see a lawnmower again, I'm going to die.
Has it slowed down at all?
You're funny. You're really funny. Jeez,
well,
man.
They give you an hour to fix it. I don't understand the problem.
Yeah, give me an hour. It takes an hour to get my butt out of this chair. It doesn't let you people know, okay? Hey, man, and I'm going for surgery, so I'm going to be out for a little while. And if you got any complaints, take it to my wife. I'm sure she'll
I got you.
She's the one to talk to. But anyway, we just remember starting next week, on Friday night. So if you're traveling in Bay City, it's your first time in Bay City, slow down, starting about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Around the schools because of the games and stuff going on. And I know.
Well, and Thursday night we have junior varsity playing.
Junior varsity playing as well. So you gotta watch. Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have brought that up too. JV on Thursday and Friday. So at nighttime, slow down, man. Slow down.
Yeah, nothing's that important. Let's take care of our kids.
Oh, no, it's not. All right. So what else? Let's see here. I got it right here. Hang on. On the agenda, hang on here. I got it right here. As long as my computer works a little faster. There we go. Come on. All right. Oh, and by the way, next week we have a special guest coming on the show. James from HIF Global will be joining us.
James
to give us an update Oh, James Outram. That's right.
Yeah, we've got some. We've got some. They've got some exciting news. They're going to share.
Yeah.
It's everybody. If you don't see dirt moving, a lot of people around here think nothing's happening.
Yeah,
there is a million moving parts to a $7 billion deal.
Yeah.
And then you throw on the fact that this will be the first large manufacturer of hydrogen fuel ever, especially in the United States, but I think ever. I did meet with some folks from the Chile plant. They were in. Now that's just a pilot plant, but it's going great guns. I did learn the pilot plant still makes gasoline. Hydrogen turns into gasoline.
Right.
Of course, HIF's already announced that this plant here, west of us, that's going to make marine fuel, hydrogen fuels for the ships.
That's correct.
The marine industry.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got some exciting, they've already got everything they can produce sold to just a couple of entities. And so that's always important, that you already know somebody's going to buy your product after you make it.
Right.
But a lot of moving parts. They're still working on, and they are very proud of their being a global company. And so they've had a lot of folks coming in from overseas, taking a look, interviewing us and taking a look. So I'm looking forward to James rolling out some new and exciting information for HIF. I've heard it both ways. I've heard them refer to it as highly innovative fuels, and then I've heard them refer to it as HIF.
Right.
So I guess both is correct.
Both are correct.
I haven't seen anything to the contrary. So sometimes it's highly innovative fuels and sometimes it's HIF, but it's the same organization.
Right. Yep. It is exactly the same. And one thing I want to state about them coming in there, they already got contracts signed as soon as they open this up. So these folks are waiting for this to get done too as well. So, yeah, but he's going to be joining us next week. Also, I think the week after that, I'll have Andy Kirkland. We'll have some other folks on, but I want to get to this next thing here.
Yes.
And I have something to say about this after reading it. Texas must invest in early reading for long-term success. So tell us a little bit about this. And I have, well, I'll let you tell a little bit about this. And our education system, and we'll talk about this. Our education system is, some areas are failing our kids, and I think I know why. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, Bill Hammonds, he's a friend of mine. He former state legislator. He he's a lobbyist now. He was with the Texas Association of Business. His focus has always been on education, and I read a piece that he wrote recently, and it struck a chord with me. So you remember all of the panic and all of the people getting upset with Centerpoint and the power being out and everybody's up in arms, and they're damn stupid, shooting at linemen and screaming and hollering, and they've really got mobilized against Centerpoint and wanting their air conditioners back on. And his point was, I wish that the community would get that fired up for our education. And he's got statistics that show, and not locally, I agree with that. I think our ISDs here in Matagorda County are doing a great job.
Yeah.
But there are ISDs, Houston, Dallas, there are ISDs that are failing kids, and they're not at grade level. But yet, and that brings up another point, and why aren't we as parents and grandparents, why aren't we up in arms? Why we don't have pitchforks going to school board meetings in some of these, and I get, it's this convoluted, confusing, nebulous that I get that a lot of people want school vouchers to help with this, but that's help. I don't know that helps, but I know there's people that just really believe in school vouchers is going to up the teaching levels.
Mm-mm.
But and that's a good question. So my question is, why aren't we as parents and grandparents on TV, in front of the cameras, testifying, going and finding out why is our Texas Education Association failing our kids?
I'm going to tell you why right now.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. And let's go back, get out of the education system once. People you're seeing a lot of grandparents raising kids, single parents raising a lot of single parents raising kids. You know, divorce rates up 60%. So now you're talking about 60% of our kids or maybe 50% of our kids are run by single parents, flip-flop back and forth. Kids can't concentrate on school because they're worried about what their parents are going to do at a younger age. The grandparents don't care. The grandparents, I shouldn't say don't care. Some of them do. But Here we go. We got a government that's saying for every child that you get or have, now they want to do this $7,000 child tax break. They're talking about it. Both sides are talking about getting the tax break. So that means I'm going to get $14,000 for 2 kids. Well, under the age of 18. All right. So a grandparent's going to go, well, I only get Social Security. That extra $14,000 coming to me is going to be good money for me.
Right.
Can a grandparent control these kids that are frustrated? They're frustrated because they're not educated. Well, they're not educated is because we got school districts that are throwing in people to be teachers' aides with no education to teach children. We don't know if it's right or wrong. We don't know. I still say to this day with the technology that we have, this can very easily be done. We should be able to monitor the classrooms as a parent and watch the teachers teach our children. And I think we should be able to do that. I think let's say there's 13 students in a class, maybe 20. Let's go to 20. 20 kids in the class. At that certain time, my daughter comes home and says, well, my 6th period teacher, she tells me this and that, and this is what she's teaching us and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Well, how do I know because it's my child, I'm supposed to believe her, or because it's the teacher, I'm supposed to believe what's going on? Or she's being bullied in school. Why can't we have access? Why can't we have access to the hallways? Why can't we have access to see what our kids are doing in our hallways? If the schools are able to do it, then the parents should be able to link in and know what's going on with their kids. We are paying taxes for the school. We now have a way to monitor our children in each class to see how they're doing. Some people will do it. Some people that won't do it. But if my daughter's coming home to me or my son's coming home to me every day saying, the 3rd grade teacher was picking on us in class today, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. All right. So every teacher needs to have a little microphone right here that's hooked up to that camera. We can hear everything she's saying and doing. We'll also
we did it to cops, didn't we?
We did it to cops. Why not? Body cams and stuff like that. So bad cops, if you're a good teacher, whatever. If somebody goes and says, hey, I heard that teacher say or teaching the wrong thing, or they telling them the wrong thing,
It's a good point.
I know that the discipline level is not the discipline anymore. It's not like it used to be when you and I went to school. Not at all. No. Not at all. Zero. Okay. So
I couldn't sit for a week after a couple of those paddlings.
I'm tired of hearing parents go, well, my child would never do that in school. This and that and blah, 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 blah. All right. You want to see how that works? All right. Let's put a camera in every class.
Yeah. Here it is.
Be able to watch. Yeah, there it is. You do it all day long if you want. Okay. You should be able to do that. The other problem that we have government running school districts. Our Texas government right now is running the Houston ISD. They don't have a school board. They don't have one.
Elected. They don't have an elected. It's an appointed school board. They don't have an elected school board.
So therefore, to me, that tells me there's no school board.
Right.
You got a bunch of people that were appointed in there and say, hey, we need help with this, this, and this, and this, and this.
And because everywhere in Matagorda, our school boards are elected.
Right.
In Palacios, in Tidehaven, in Bay City, Matagorda, Van Vleck, they're all elected. You and I, in our various districts, are elected. We're voting. Now, if you're not voting, shame on you.
Right.
But we're voting for that leadership. I got you.
So if Houston ISD's school board was ousted by the state, that means there's corruption or something going on wrong. Something going on wrong. Our kids see that and figure they can't get their ABCs right. Why should we get our ABCs?
Yeah.
Right? The older kids. I mean,
right.
It's run amok. It's run crazy. We live in a country area setting. Okay.
Yeah.
When these city schools are tough. I tell you, they're tough.
Completely different, right?
Completely different. I grew up in Allentown, in Philadelphia, in New York City, and I seen those kids. But let me tell you what, the teachers in New York and Philadelphia are tough.
If they're not tough, they don't make it. Is that what
they don't make it? So why are kids frustrated out there all the time? You see kids frustrated, causing trouble. This is because they're not educated correctly. If you don't see smart kids causing problems, or kids that pay attention, or kids that have parents that are, hey, make sure you sit down and want your homework done. You don't play the PlayStation, get away from the phone, get away. The discipline has gone away, and it will never, ever, ever change with our kids until there's some kind of discipline set or some way for us to monitor our kids so we can discipline them, knowing that they did wrong in school. I don't think our teachers should be babysitters. I think they should be teachers. And I think that we are the babies. Let us be the babysitter. Well, somebody said, well, I work all day. I can't watch my kid at school. Well, then you need to take the time to watch that class and see what the problems are, or look down the hallway and find out who's picking on who or who's saying what.
Well, I know it's possible. My daughter can pop in and look at the daycare and see various times during the day what her kid is doing.
Right.
Whether it's being bad or good or napping or not napping, she's got access to that. I kind of like it. Now, I don't want perverts on there.
No.
It'd have to be done.
It can only be done by the students' parents. You can't.
Yeah, I got it. And I log in, and what do you do what do you call that when they send you a text with the number? Is that third party?
So it'll be a third party.
That's what I want. Strict controls.
Yep, strict control with a password that can get in there, that you can watch that particular class, and after that, if your daughter's not in that class, you can't watch it. It goes off. So it'll go by. It would go by what classes your kids are in.
I got you.
You can't go and watch Johnny next door. Hey, how's he doing? No, it's only the class, and then after that class is over. During that time, and you can set a timer in your computer, that's it. It's off. All right. He's in from 7:45 to 8:40. Okay, that's the only time I can watch that class, because that's when she has that class. Okay. The hallway monitoring. Jesus, it's been a long day. The hallway monitoring. You should be able to access and watch. You should be able to access and watch that the kids moving in the hallway, and then find out from your kids, hey, which way do you take? I know there's a lot of different hallways. I know there's a lot of different floors, but now we have to set a precedent to the schools with the budgets that they have to be able to set something like this up. I want to monitor my kid. Okay. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what I did, and my kids hate this because I know everybody. So let's say my daughter says something. She said something bad. The teacher goes and teacher, we get your daughter said this, this, and this. My daughter comes back and says, no, I didn't say that. I only said this. Okay. I'll call 4 different teachers and the superintendent that know her, and it'll all come back the same way, because I know teachers over there. So I can call them on my phone or text them. And they'll say, nope, she said this. And I'll go, nope, 3 other teachers said you said this. So what's the truth? Well, maybe I did. I don't know. So, okay. All right. So who am I going to believe? Not my daughter. I don't give a crap she gets mad at me or not. I really don't care. And that's the problem too.
Yeah.
Parents are wanting to be friends with their kids.
I know.
Parents are wanting to be friends with their kids. They're wanting to be friends with their grandkids. No.
You got to be their parent, not their friend.
Right. I don't know a chicken in the world that laid an egg and said, I'm going to be friends with you the rest of my life. I don't know that.
I don't know.
It doesn't happen. It has to stop. We got into a world where, we had COVID, 9/11, all kinds of crazy, Oklahoma bombing, all this stuff that's going on that these kids see growing up. And then we all seem to get closer to each other for a period of time because, COVID killed our Uncle Johnny and grandma and this and that. Oh, I need to be closer to my kids because you don't know when they're going to go. Well, that's all great and fine and dandy, but we still have to educate our kids, and there has to be disciplinary actions when they mess up, man.
Well, because you're not doing them any favors. No. I mean, it's a cruel world out there.
No.
I will tell you kind of a funny story. So we were sitting there at Saturday evening, and my son-in-law looks at me and he goes, I just want you to know you raised a hell of a daughter.
Yeah, I get
because
that
she's a mom of 3. She's taking care of him. She works full time.
Right.
She is an amazing young lady, and he recognizes it. But looking back, Carolyn and I, we were pretty tough on the kids, and we loved them graciously, but there were expectations, and you're going to meet expectations.
I got my 20-year-old telling me I wouldn't be where he's at today if I didn't jump his butt the way that I did.
See, so there? He hated you years ago, right?
Man, I'm moving out of the house when I'm 18. Well, that worked. And he did. So at 18, he moved out and he was going to college. You know the story because
I know
with your wife and stuff.
Good kid.
He turned out to be a great kid. If I ever need anything, I call him up. He's there. Getting $45 an hour, $45 an hour, a job that he likes to do. Right. Yeah. Not that he has to do, but that he likes to do. Getting $100, $150 a day per diems. Is able to pay the truck that he got now. Is able to support his daughter, his soon to be wife, all this other stuff. So, that's the kind of kids that I want to see go out there. It makes me feel good.
I know.
And I didn't stomp on my daughter as much. And I can see that. I know that I didn't, you know. But when you live with the other person that I live with, that, has a different style of growing kids up.
And has a baseball bat?
Has a baseball bat and tells me to shut up.
Yeah, I understand about that.
But anyway, I'm very adamant. I was always very adamant about the teacher thing. It's always like, I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on. But everybody hears it, but nobody listens. So it's like, oh, Jeff, you can't say that to people. You can't tell people that they got to discipline their kids. I shouldn't have to tell them. That's a common sense thing that this country has lost. Common sense. Common sense. The kid's acting up. Why? Well, because he found his boundaries. And his boundaries are past good. They're past good. They're in horrific. So don't let them pass the boundaries.
This would be a question, Jeff, for our teachers. Do we teach reading early enough and long enough and hard enough for I'm talking about the little kids. I'm not talking about high school. The one thing that I think helped me more than anything else. And look, I grew up in schools in Alabama where, let's just say academic excellence was not at the top of the realm, but I learned to read, and reading has brought me a lot of enjoyment, but also a lot of knowledge. Right. And do our kids these days read enough? And do we take time to sit with them while they read? They don't, because everything has not. When we went to school and we were learning, I think it was simplified. It was made exciting to learn how to read and understand things. It was exciting to sit there and say, "Hey, we got a Mother Goose book here.
and open up the book, and you see these are words down here. Right. And guess what? This book is more exciting if you know what this says. Get the kids involved in it. Get them more excited about it. All right. Do letters that rhyme and all that stuff. But no, everything has to be on a fast level. Fast. It's going to be quick. We got to push them through. They're only going to be here 3-4 weeks. We got to teach them this, and then they move on to another school, or they move away, or whatever. It's tough.
Jeff, I think they're also teaching to this test. I think we're depending on this STAR test way too much.
That draws anxiety to a lot of these kids. A lot. Yeah. And STAR testing,
or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called today.
STAR testing, STARR.
Oh, okay.
STAR testing was explained to me by a teacher up in Buffalo, Texas, and then she became the superintendent. STAR testing isn't necessarily the knowledge of what the knowledge of the child knows, but how they thought the state thought they were taught.
Okay.
Is the teacher doing a good enough job? So if everybody got a STAR test, and in that class, the STAR test averaged, let's say it averaged 72 out of 100.
Okay.
All right, which is so. Well, then the teacher ain't doing a good job because everybody's reading at the same level.
Okay.
If they go to another class and they say, well, everybody's got to be between an 80 and 95, that's really good there. Well, that teacher's doing excellent. We're going to push her to get a raise. Well, what if that other teacher is told you have to teach reading this way, which some of the schools are doing?
That's what I mean.
They're holding them back. They can't. If I go into a school and want to teach, I want to teach my way. I want to teach the way that I know that I can get after children without getting in trouble. But I don't want the state coming to me and telling me, okay, well, now you're property of the state, and this is the way we need you to teach. Well, no, you're not educators. You're politicians. Stick to politics, okay? If I'm a good teacher, and I think the superintendents should have more reign at being able to get those teachers and say, listen, I want, or monitor those classes more. Go into each one of the classes and sit down more. I know they do. But
they've got counselors, and they've got assistant principals, and they've got principals. I mean, isn't there plenty of admin?
Was there a police station in your school when you went to school?
No, there wasn't even a cop in my school.
Exactly. Neither mine. So here we go. Now we got that stress. We got shootings at school. There's enough pressure on the kids.
I know.
And then not to be raised the right way by the right people. Not to be taught the right way by the right people, having educators, having higher up educators in the state say, no, this is the way you need to do it. Or this is a voucher, we're going to do vouchers so you can move to another school to get what? If all the schools should be on every level should be teaching the same thing. A teacher in third grade at that school and this school and that school and that school should be all teaching the same damn thing. And they're not. They're not.
Well,
and again, and I'm sorry, but the teachers should have the realm of teaching. If I'm going to be a superintendent, I want to have great teachers at my school. I want to see what they're teaching and how they're teaching it. It's not what you're getting taught. It's how they're teaching it. So you got kids in there that'll understand right away, and sometimes you got kids that don't understand.
And try another way to teach them. Yeah.
Right. Talk to them like an adult. Don't walk up to them and go, so Bobby, did you no. You go, Bobby, did you understand what we were doing today? Yeah, no, And there's some teachers in our schools now that if you raise your hand, you can't ask a question.
Really?
Fact.
Huh.
Fact. And I was told by that particular teacher that she doesn't have to answer questions. When she's teaching, she does not have to answer questions.
Jeff.
It's true. Do you know? Here's something else. God, I don't even know if I should say it or not. I'm going to say it, but I won't say the name of the school or anything. Okay.
All right.
So I was called into a school one time, and my son was having an issue with a teacher. And he came to me and he said, Dad, this lady doesn't like, football players and doesn't like athletic kids and this and that, and don't like the coaches and don't like the superintendent. She says all the time, oh, blah, blah. I said, okay. So I get a call by the superintendent. Well, let me go this way. So my son took a test, and I looked at the test, And I said, well, that question ain't wrong. That question ain't wrong, and that question ain't wrong. Then I looked at his buddy's test, who doesn't go to football, same questions, answered the same answers in the same test and the same question, passed the test. But my son had to get an 80 to pass the test, and she gave him a 79. It's okay. So I went and got called to come and talk to this teacher by the superintendent. This is this is true.
All right.
And if I need to bring these people on to talk about it, I will. I don't care. So, I went to the school and I sat down, and the teacher come in like Gustavo, like she was Hitler, and pushed all of my son's paper. Well, this is the time. I pushed it right back, and I said, no, I ain't got a problem with my kid. I got a problem with you. What are you talking about? Well, here's the problem. I hear you don't like this person, this person, this person. Now here, and I handed her the test of the kid that passed. And I handed her my son's test at the same time. I said, what's the difference between these two tests? And she's looking and rippling. Well, I'm looking, and she said, well, this one could have been answered a little bit differently. I said, it's the same answer over here on this page with one or two words that are a little different. So it wasn't copying, whatever. So I said, here's the deal. You're either going to, and this is what I told her, and the superintendent is in the room with me when I'm talking to. I said, this is the deal. You're going to give my son a retest. If he doesn't pass, it's on him. If he passes, it's on you. If he doesn't pass and he gives you the same answers, you will be out of a job tomorrow, I guarantee it. Well, I'll make sure I retest him. And I said, if you ever go against any of these kids that want to become athletes or in the athletic community or want to move up, baseball players, football players, soccer players, whatever. I said, because I don't want to hear it from you. I need you to teach. That's what I need you to do. And I need you to be honest with the students and the parents. Don't give me some kind of bull. And I want you to email me every week on how my son's doing. You have my email. She goes, well, I'm not sure. And the superintendent said, you have all the emails to all the parents. They're in the portal. It's in your computer. It's sitting right here. Yeah. I get up. And I said, do you understand me? Yes, sir. I understand. I get up with the superintendent. I walk out the door. I looked at the superintendent. I said, how did I do? He said, you could have been a little rougher on her. Why? Why, as a parent, should I have to go and reprimand a teacher?
I guess
who's crooked.
They're worried about getting sued by the teacher, I guess. I don't know. That thing happened to me. That very same thing happened to me in college. I had a PE minor. And one of my required courses was weightlifting. Well, I played football. I played college football.
Right.
And the kinesiology professor hated football players and told us. And he said, you might as well drop my class. I'm going to fail you. And I said, this is he thought we were doing it to up our grade point average.
Correct.
And I said, no, I have to have this course. I'm a PE minor. I have to have weightlifting. Mm-hmm. And I made sure I was there. I did everything right. Sure enough, my grades came out and he failed me.
Right.
Went with the coaches to the school, to the president of the university, and he changed the grade to a C.
Right.
And so you're right. There are people that just don't
need to
athletes,
be there. And they all need. And I don't want superintendents sticking up for teachers saying, well, they've been here a long time. And this, I don't care.
Right.
If they're teaching the students wrong and they're getting the wrong vibe, right, and they're not learning and they're more scared than willing to learn, then they need to go.
Yeah. They need to do something else. I agree with that.
Well, they only got a year to go on there until they retire. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. They're not teaching. No, and by the way, stay on. After we go off the air, just for 1 minute.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you something anyway.
But
anyway, that's my thought. I'm sorry I went off there on that.
No, I'm glad we did. We need to have this. And look, I want to talk to a teacher and or an administrator and let them tell us how difficult their job is. But you've got your expectations. I've got my expectations.
Yeah,
I know the expectations of the business world as well, and you do too, Jeff.
Yeah.
The fact that the teachers got one more year before they can retire doesn't help us running businesses.
No.
And needing qualified employees. So no, I'm with you.
Yeah, no, I don't see that. No, our education needs to be our top priority, because if you're going to say at graduation, there you go, y'all go now.
Right.
Okay, what's a mortgage?
You're on your own.
Well, what is windstorm insurance? What is this stuff? Taxes? How do I pay taxes? Well, your parents will show you. Well, if they weren't helping them before, do you think they're going to sit down with them and show them how to do taxes?
No.
No, they're going to go, oh, well, I got this. Who do I take it to? Or let them know. I had those classes.
Yeah, we'll get the government to do it.
No, tired of it. All right, we had one more thing we need to talk about. We'll bring it up next week. We're running a little late right now, but anyway, James from HIF Global will be here next week. We'll talk a little bit about the weather. We'll talk about the football games and the coaches show coming up, and we're going to have some other folks on that I want to get on. I want to get Jessica back on to give us an update too on everything that's going on. I want to get. I really want to talk about the ESD again, emergency service.
Yeah. Where is that?
Yeah, it's sort of fizzled out, but it'll pick back up again.
But I think we need it.
I do think we need it.
And the session's coming up.
Yeah. And I want to talk to all the people that are dealing with EMS, and I want to talk to EMS people, the fire departments, and talk to somebody from the sheriff's department and things like that, because that's all a part of it. It helps. That ESD helps all of those places. And then also I'm getting closer. We're going to talk to Aaron Green, and we're going to talk to Rick DeLeon, who are running for sheriff.
Right.
And
we can do Stephanie and AJ as well.
Yeah. And both Aaron and Rick have been here at the shop, and they're doing sponsorships for football. But they both had great plans as far as the sheriff's department goes. And I want to make sure that they share that with you. This is something that we didn't even talk before when they were on the show.
Okay.
But I want to bring it across. I never got to meet either one of them, just talking to them on the phone and stuff. But I met them both. Both of them have lawnmower issues. Fixing them both.
Oh, that's funny.
So they both came by. Well, we got them taken care of. But anyway, I things like this that I picked up, and I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. And it's nothing against you. It has to do what we could do to move forward. And they both understood, and they're both great answers. And so anyway, all right.
Well, good. Well, I'll work on Stephanie and AJ.
Okay.
Remember, Republican and Democrat candidate for District 30.
Right. And also, I want to get our county attorney, being our new county attorney on.
Yeah, county attorney
elect. Yes, thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
I want to get him on because he has some good stuff that we need to talk about.
And look, it's going to be right around the corner, and he'll be in the hot seat. He'll make sure he's ready.
Yeah, make sure he's ready. I'll get him a pack of cigarettes, and we'll sit there at his table and we'll talk about it.
All right, my friend.
All right, just stick around. Thank you, everybody, for watching Inside Texas with Mitch and Jeff. I'm Jeff Michaels, and that's Mitch Thames. And we'll see you all here next Monday night at 7 p.m.